There's something I need to say to you, man. And I say this with an unblemished record of staunch heterosexuality. You are one sexy motherfucker.
Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it.
What is up, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP. I really do appreciate you. Today we are going to talk about what a woman behaves like when she is attracted to you. And this is a really interesting thing that I just noticed in the nightclubs. I was out the other night and I had this girl attracted to me and she turned into a complete fucking idiot, dude. Like, she couldn't even think straight. She was fumbling over her words and she was doing some things that I'm going to point out to you that you may be doing when you're attracted to a girl. And we're going to go over all these things and we're going to prevent you from being the jackass that this chick was. I don't want to rip on her. She was a sweet girl, but holy hell, man, was she stumbling over herself. She couldn't think straight. It was a pretty pathetic thing to watch. It was like watching a guy going for a tackle and it looks like you just threw a dead body out of a car. It was just absolutely pathetic. So we're going to go over that today. Gentlemen, I just hit 1,000 reviews on iTunes, so I want to sincerely thank each and every single one of you that contributed to that number by leaving me a review. If you want to leave me a review on either Spotify, iTunes, or any of the podcast apps, you can email me at CoachMarkSing@gmail.com and I will send you a bunch of cool shit. The Conversation Sniper, Guide to the Female Orgasm, and 3 texts to build massive attraction in women. And you know what? If you don't want to leave me a review, that's okay. My feelings regenerate at twice the speed of a normal human being, so I will get over it. But to those of you who have shown the love, I really, really appreciate it. So when a girl is attracted to you, it's pretty damn obvious. And what I always say to my coaching clients is you have to get 3 signs of attraction before you go for the phone number. So generally what we do is we go in and we give value. We do things and talk about things and behave in ways that get her attracted to us. And once we get signs of attraction, then what I like to do is go for a qualifying question. And a qualifying question is a method to get her to sell herself to me. Then once she sells herself to me, I can go for the phone number. So it's a very basic formula. And many guys go into interactions expecting to get a phone number or trying to get a phone number. But what I like to do is I like to go in with no outcome dependency whatsoever. Doesn't matter what happens. I'm just going in to chat this girl up. And as my boy Talon said in last night's coaching call, he said, when I go in just trying to make friends and go in giving value and only having the goal of leaving her better from having met me, it's like they always get attracted to me. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it. A lot of guys go into conversations trying to get something from the girl. But what we want to do is we want to go in trying to give something to her, giving her value, giving her funny conversation, getting her emotions up. And then invariably, she's going to get attracted to us. We get those 3 signs of attraction, which include her playing with her hair, her licking her lips, her asking you questions about yourself, her laughing at jokes that aren't funny, general deer in the headlights look like dilated pupils. Like the other night, this girl stumbling over what she was saying, leaning in, touching me, getting close proximity-wise, asking me what I'm doing this weekend. Any of these signs of attraction, and you need to get 3 of them. Then what you do is you ask a qualifying question, which is something akin to, what would your best friend say is the coolest thing about you? Why are you awesome? What's the best thing you've ever done for your friend? Are you a good girlfriend? Are you a good kisser? You could even ask her, if the conversation warrants it, are you good in bed? Are you good at giving blowjobs? Now, of course, again, as I said, the conversation has to warrant that kind of question. But when you make a girl sell herself to you, she automatically gets more attracted. Okay, so the big thing about women when they're attracted to you is they act like a guy who's attracted to a girl. Now, this shouldn't come as some shock because we're all human beings and we all behave in the same ways generally when we're attracted to somebody. Especially those who haven't had the training, they're going to act in very low value ways. So when a guy's attracted to a girl and he hasn't had the proper amount of training, what kinds of things does he do? Well, let's think about guys in the nightclubs. I'm sure all you guys have seen this, and I'm sure a lot of you have been this dude, and I dare say I've been this dude myself, so let's not hold it against ourselves. But what we do is we act really fucking excited. Like all our Christmases came on the same day. We just realized that the Taliban was right. And when we die, we get to go to heaven and experience 30 virgins and castles and riches for the rest of eternity, right? It's like the best thing that ever happened to these dudes. And I see it every single time I go out into nightclubs, I go into bars. Even when I see guys hitting on girls in the gym who don't know what they're doing, they get way too excited. Okay, ear to ear smile, all teeth. They got the pop in their giddy up, the glimmer in their eye, and it's like the best freaking thing that ever happened to them. What does that communicate to the girl? It communicates that you're not used to talking to cute girls. You obviously don't have abundance of women in your life, and that is naturally very unattractive. Well, girls do the same thing. Like this girl the other night, it was like all her birthdays came on the same day. She got 25 ponies for her birthday. And she got lifetime access to Sephora, the makeup place where she could buy anything she wants anytime she wants. That's how excited this chick was. And part of me was like, damn, girl, relax. Drop it down a gear. Like you are telegraphing way too much attraction. Now, when girls do it, it's cute. I don't hold it against them. In fact, I really like it. There's nothing better than a girl who's attracted to you because it becomes so easy to just take that attraction and like an ember that you're trying to blow into a flame, you just continue nurturing it and then the thing just erupts into like ridiculous attraction, ridiculous sexual tension, and she's super into you. But as a man, there's two things I want you guys to know. First of all, do not telegraph that same kind of attraction to a girl because it looks low value. But at the same time, when you notice a girl who's doing those quote unquote low value things to you, she's attracted. And as you get better at this, as you do the reps, as you get more practice, you'll start to notice these things pretty quickly. Like I can tell if a girl's attracted to me immediately. And usually it's just in the eyes. She gets slightly dilated pupils and I'm like, okay, this chick's into me. But then she starts doing things like smiling ear to ear smile, like her freaking smile was wrapped around her entire face. This chick was smiling so big. And you see it with dudes too. They just like, they're so pumped to be talking to this chick. They're leaning in, they're trying to touch her, they're asking her questions, their voice is going up at the end. Like, so what do you do for fun? It's horrible. And it kills attraction in women. And this, in my opinion, is one of the biggest reasons guys get blown out. Well, chicks do the same thing. And the whole point of this episode is to communicate to you that when a girl is attracted to you, she's going to behave like a dude who's low value. A dude who's low value is a guy who doesn't get girls, so he's super excited to be talking to this girl. He's telegraphing tons of interest. He's asking her way too many personal questions about herself. He's trying to brag. He's trying to sell himself to her, which is all the wrong things to do when you're trying to attract a woman. Well, girls who are attracted will do the same thing. They're going to try to brag to you. They're going to try to touch you. They're going to try to lean in. They're going to try to ask you personal questions, try to figure out what you're doing that weekend and if she can weasel her way into your life. So as you continue to get better with women, you're going to see this stuff, and your job as the man is to stay calmer than she is. Now, this goes into frame control, my all-time favorite topic when it comes to seduction. But frame control dictates that the person who's the calmest, the least reactive, the least invested in the conversation is the one with the power. You as the man have to have, quote unquote, the power in the conversation in order for her to become attracted to you. So let's look at the guy who's super into the girl, smiling, all teeth. He's got a boner the size of the Statue of Liberty, and he's getting wrapped around his own axle because he could hardly think straight. Okay, so this guy is essentially giving her the frame. He has less power in the conversation because she's so sexy, she's so hot. He can't believe he's finally speaking to her. He's so goddamn happy. He's essentially handing her the frame. A girl cannot become attracted to you if she has a stronger frame than you do. And I really want to get that in your head because so many guys miss this all important point. A girl cannot become attracted to you if she has a stronger frame than you do, which means if you're more invested in the conversation, if you're more happy about it, if you're the one doing all the work and putting in all the energy, she's not going to get attracted to you. So the way to do it, again, as Talon spoke about on last night's coaching call, was to go in and give value, but not give a shit about what happens. That girl who was speaking to me the other night, she was so outcome dependent, man. It's like she really needed it, dude. She had a tattoo above her ass that said, "Come here" on it. And I was like, not really interested. But I was spitting game in a way where I didn't care, right? I have Marissa. I'm in a committed relationship. I spit game just for fun. And I can't explain to you guys how much more powerful that's made my game. When you don't give a shit about what happens, when you're not so damn excited to be talking to these girls, you naturally control the frame because you want less, you're reacting less, and thus they get attracted to you. But what multiplies that attraction is I'm not trying to get anything from her, just like what Taylor was talking about. I'm going in, seeing if she could be a cool friend. Because as we also mentioned in that coaching call, your net worth is dictated by your network, which also applies to dating. Your net worth, when it comes to the amount of girls in your life, the amount of sex you're having, the amount of attention you get, is dictated by your networking abilities. So you go out, outcome independent, you don't care what happens. You talk to girls, not super invested in the conversation, giving value, but not caring what happens, almost giving value as a way to entertain yourself. And then they get attracted to you. You get 3 signs of attraction and you're like, I actually like this chick. Let me ask her a qualifying question. So what would you say is your best quality? Then if she starts selling herself to you, who's putting more energy into the interaction? She is. Okay, so now you have the power. She's selling herself to you, which is building even more attraction. Then she starts to go into screensaver mode like a dude who's attracted to a girl. So I know I'm throwing a lot of different concepts at you guys. And in this episode, I kind of wanted to make the fundamental point of this episode the bullseye. And then I kind of wanted to go around it until you arrive to the inevitable conclusion, which is, again, when a girl is attracted to you, she acts like a dude who is low value. If you act like a girl who's attracted to a guy, when you're speaking to a girl, you are going to telegraph too much attraction and you are going to lose her attraction. So what's the key here? The key is to not behave like that. The key is to be outcome independent. I don't care what happens, and stop going into interactions trying to get something from this girl. Get her phone number, get her on a date, get her panties off. Fuck all that. Don't be a gopher, man. Go for this, go for that, go for her phone number, go for a date. Don't be that dude. Be a guy who doesn't give a shit about what happens because you have abundance. Talon said something else in that coaching call that I was so proud to hear from him. When he first came into the coaching program, he was super afraid of rejection. He was terrified of it because he put too much importance on what that girl thought of him and not enough importance on what he thought of himself. So through NLP, we made him internally validated, which means his opinion of himself is the only one that matters. So he said in the coaching call, brother, I got rejected the other day, and as I was walking away, I realized it had 0 effect on me. And I said, yes, man, that's the place I wanted you to get, because once you get to that place, you're no longer A, dependent on outcome, B, caring about what she thinks of you, and C, you get a superpower where you can literally open any girl, anytime, anywhere, and rejection doesn't matter. And I spoke about this in my previous podcast. If you haven't listened to that, I strongly suggest you do so. It's about why we're afraid of rejection and how to overcome it. But Talon arrived to the point of outcome independence. Not only do I not care whether or not I get her phone number, but I don't care whether or not she rejects me. And now he has a superpower because he can go in and not behave like that girl who is attracted to him, but instead let her behave that way. Once she does, he knows, okay, she's attracted to me. Then he qualifies her and then he asks for her phone number. Another client in the coaching call last night told us about how he got a phone number. And I asked him, what did you say specifically? And he said, hey, can I get your phone number? And I said, that's okay, particularly because I like your tonality. It didn't go up at the end. Hey, can I get your phone number? It went down at the end. Hey, can I get your phone number? But I don't like to use the word can I because it's asking for permission. And if you're asking for permission from a girl to do something, who's in the power position? Now, I know these power plays can look very juvenile. I know they can look like you're trying to be a control freak. But in the beginning, boys, it's very important that you control the frame. And these subtle things can communicate a lack of frame control or an abundance of frame control. And you always want to err on the side of having the quote unquote power. Power actually isn't a good word because in a way it communicates that you're trying to lord it over her and she's less than you, but it's more like the conversational value or the person who's leading and the other person following isn't less than us, but they're following us. And that's okay. And that's the way it should be in a masculine-feminine relationship. So when you go in to ask for the phone number, it's better to say, hey, you seem pretty cool. Why don't you toss me your number and maybe we'll catch up some other time. Listen to those words, man. I mean, it's so gangster when you really break it down. Hey, you seem pretty cool. I love saying that because seem communicates that I don't know you yet. I've been talking to you for 5 to 10 minutes. So you seem pretty cool. Why don't you toss me your number, which is a little bit of a command. It comes from an authoritative frame. And maybe we'll catch up some other time. I love that, dude. I love to throw maybe in there. Like, hey, we should definitely hang out sometime, maybe. It's something that I say in the conversation sniper, which is yours if you leave me a review. So all these concepts come together, gentlemen, so that you don't behave like that guy I spoke about who it's like all his Christmases came on the same day, or that girl who was attracted to me the other night in the nightclub. I don't want you to behave like her because so many guys do. And if you can simply prevent yourself from getting so excited and so happy and smiling so much and leaning in and touching her and like asking her personal questions and being so fucking pumped like a monkey trying to fuck a football, when instead you behave in a way that shows you're very calm, cool, and calibrated. And yeah, you're enjoying it, but you're enjoying it not because she's there necessarily. You're enjoying the conversation. And you're there to give value, but not give a shit about what happens. That's when you get them attracted to you. And I'll tell you what, when a girl behaves like a low value dude when talking to you, she's definitely attracted to you. So drop in a quick qualifying question. If she jumps through your hoop and sells herself to you, you got a phone number every day of the week. Then when you text her the next day at 6 p.m., referencing something that you two spoke about in that conversation, she's definitely going to reply. My final point as we round this bullseye to get to the ultimate purpose of this episode is this. We can get phone numbers from girls and not get texts back because we don't have enough attraction. So it's a spectrum. You need this much attraction to get a phone number, and you need this much attraction to get a text back. So when you deploy all the methods that I teach in this podcast, of course, but more specifically in my 3-month coaching program, it's like killing an ant with a nuclear warhead. It's so goddamn easy because you just do technique, not give a shit, control the frame, be less outcome dependent, don't care about what happens. And then she gets attracted to you, you qualify her, you yank a number, and you're getting a text back. And then I teach how to get her on the date, what to do on the date, how to physically escalate, how to get a second date, how to text her in between, and everything, including making her fall in love with you and having a meaningful long-term relationship, which I know is also important to a lot of you guys. It's a 12-week program, and if you're interested in joining us, this was just a sample of the stuff that I teach my boys to make them absolute assassins with women. If you want to apply to get on a free one-on-one call with us to discuss whether or not this program is the right fit for you, go to my website, CoachMarkSing.com, click on coaching, fill in the quick application. You and I are going to email back and forth a little bit to get to know each other. I'm going to feel out if you're a good fit for me, and you can feel out if we're a good fit for you. And then you're going to get on a call with my wingman and partner, Victor Lynch, to see if you're a good fit for the program. And if you are, buy condoms, brother, because you're about to need them. Go to Costco, get the bulk pack of condoms, get 2, okay? Stack them near your bed, actually get a trash can and just fill the entire fucking trash can full of condoms, have that next to your bed, and then have an automated robot arm that just like grabs one and brings it over to you in the bed when you're ready to have sex with girl after girl after girl. Because I'll tell you what, once you get game, it turns from a desert of no women whatsoever to a goddamn avalanche of them. It's either you have abundance or you have nothing. That's been my experience. And every single guy that comes through my program, the avalanche hath begun. And they're like, I don't know what to do with all this. And I'm like, hey, that's another problem to have. You have to keep spreadsheets about all the chicks you're talking to. You have to learn how to nix girls correctly, make sure they don't turn into stalker Texas Rangers, learn how to break up with them correctly, and learn how to do this without creating a ton of drama in your life, which is another thing that I teach in my program. So if you're interested in joining us, if you're interested in kicking off your 2023 with an abundance, an absolute tsunami of women in your life, I'm here for you, brother. I want to work with you, and you get unlimited access to me. I am your personal dating coach. I'm going to do a goddamn podcast right into your earball every time you need it, and I'm going to make you an assassin, as I do with all my guys. I do appreciate you listening. Please stay tuned for Thursday's podcast. It's going to be yet another exceptionally interesting topic, and I will see you in the next episode.